You stand by it.
The Raptors can't get it done against the Atlanta Hawks. 114-103 is your final. Live from Real Sports, welcome to Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Jack Armstrong, Leo Rautins, and Paul Jones. Jack, I'm watching this game, and it felt like the Raptors had multiple chances to at least make it interesting, especially down the stretch. They just couldn't get that next bucket, the one that would really excite the crowd, get Atlanta on their heels.
And they got a lot of stops.
Yeah.
They did a great job defensively. They just couldn't cash in when they needed to. And give credit to Young and Murray. I mean, the backcourt of the Hawks, they were great. And we talk about it all the time. At any level of basketball, if you have really good guards, you're going to have a chance. And those guys were excellent. But perimeter defense was a big problem. And the inability to score down the stretch when they needed baskets.
Jonesy, do you think it matters? I mean, of course it matters, but you get down 20-3, which isn't great, right? But yes, of course, you come back and you cut it to single digits. But that 20-3 means something, right?
It does.
You're climbing uphill the entire time.
The whole time, Randall. And I'll say this. How many times have we seen this movie this year? Right? Slow start, come roaring back, fall just short. How much energy did we use coming back? And think about a race in a track, right? An 800-meter race or whatever, and you've been leading 2-3 laps, and a guy's running up on your shoulder. You're like, no, you're fighting him off. And if you're that guy that's been down the whole time and you run up on the guy's shoulder, do you have enough energy and will to get past him to break his? And the Raptors, we've seen that a lot from them this year. And I thought, to Jack's point, this was another one of those games where in today's NBA, the inability to score can keep you out of the game, right? Like your offense needs to score enough to keep you in games.
Well, also, if you look at, when they had that stretch where they got stops, right?
They weren't scoring.
They weren't, but not only not scoring, but some of the shots they took were creating other problems for them, right? But there's the inability to contain the ball was glaring. And it didn't matter who it was. That ball went wherever it wanted to go off the dribble. That's a problem. And that was in man-to-man or zone.
Yeah.
Right?
Going back to the start, too, though, I think as a Raptors fan, you're probably frustrated because you got Atlanta, played last night, so they're coming in on the second night of a back-to-back. You're the Raptors, you got a 3-game winning streak. You're feeling good. You're finally feeling good. I just felt like they were supposed to be the team that, gets the jump onto the game. What are you making of this?
Don't smell the perfume, right? And sometimes when things are going good, you start smelling the perfume, and things are, a little too comfortable. And Atlanta, they know they're on a back-to-back. They're like, hey, if we're going to win tonight, we got to get off to a good start.
Right.
You're going to take their best shot early, and you made the point. Jonesy, you guys made the point, right? You're playing from behind the whole night.
Well, let's not get fooled by the last 3 games.
No.
And don't get fooled by the record. Atlanta is a much better team than the other teams, right? I mean, they haven't played up to potential to this point, but they're a much better team than who the Raptors beat, right?
So we talked a little bit, we mentioned DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. Backcourt combines for 35 points in the first half, 56 in the game. How come they were able to control the game so well?
Like I said,
penetration to me.
Yeah, the Raptors couldn't contain him.
Trae Young is tough to stop at the best of times. And if you're not honed in with your schemes, where we want him to go, we're gonna give something up.
Yeah.
But let's give up what we want to give up, and if he beats us, tip your hat, shake his hand, said, that's what we wanted you to do, you did it. But him getting into the lane, turning it over and giving him a broken floor on a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1. Like he pulled up, it was a 2-on-1 today, they passed it to him cross court from the other side in front of his bench, and a 2-on-1, he shoots a wide open 3. That is a great shot for him, because it's what he does.
Yeah.
And DeJounte Murray, the master of the mid-range today, he worked into the lane, turnaround jumper, little 12-foot pull-up. Like, those are, like, when a guy's that close to the basket and has drilled that, you're not going to stop it.
But you know what, though? I respect both of those guys. But the ease to which they were able to go anywhere they wanted to off the dribble, you can't do it. You just can't play that way, right? If you're putting yourself in all kinds of bad situations.
And a positive is you got another nice night from your bench.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the last 4 games, the bench has been very good. They won their level of the game. I thought they gave you chances to get back in it. It was just a few of your guys that normally play very well for you struggled tonight. And obviously Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Pascal Siakam, which, those guys have been excellent.
Yeah.
They struggled tonight. And Scotty Barnes was outstanding.
Right from the jump. From the jump. I thought it was interesting that, I'm not sure what you guys said on the broadcast, Leo and Jack, but on the radio side, we talked about Nick Nurse finding something with the bench. And how long do you let it run before you go back to your starters? And just when he felt it was about to fall off, 6:42 fourth quarter, bang, timeout. And he put starters back in, but he left Achua and Boucher out there. He left that energy out there. And I thought, it rewards those guys. It takes advantage of something that you can get from them. But again, the hole was too deep to crawl out of.
So when you say they can't allow the guys to penetrate that much, is it just a matter of getting into them defensively, like D'ing up a little sooner? Or what do you think they need to do defensively?
Okay, I mean, we're going to go old school here. You can't, it's not always about angling guys and stuff like that. You angle those guys, they're gone.
Right.
Just keep them in front of you. If they're going to shoot that ball over top of your outstretched hand, I'll take that over penetration, getting what you want. And it was just too easy across the board.
Yeah.
And even again in the zone, there were times, for example, Pascal would stop the penetration, and other times they would go. Well, if you can stop it at one time, you could stop it again.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a consistent effort in doing it.
When you look at their backcourt, Atlanta's backcourt, do you think that they have a real chance to be a dynamic duo for a long time? Do you think they work well together, or is it you go and then I go and then you go and then I go?
Well, they have dynamic ability, both of them. But the knock on Murray was, he was a really good player on a bad team in San Antonio, and the ball would get sticky sometimes. And you talk about another guy in Trae Young who's got great playmaking skill, but the ball gets sticky sometimes with him too. And give them credit tonight, though. They did compliment each other tonight. And a lot of the assists they got were for each other, which is fine. They didn't have, 2 of their players tonight, which I think that's a heck of a win.
Capella's injured.
Capella, Bogdanovich. That's a heck of a win for the Hawks. Yeah. The Hawks are talented. They just have not been able to figure out who they are. They've had some internal issues and all that, but
I think part of the problem is DeJounte Murray and Trae Young.
Yeah.
Right? And now we saw the good.
Yeah.
It hasn't always been the good.
Yes.
And I made the point during the broadcast that, and I used Doncic as a reference because that was the whole Trae Young, Doncic, who do you take, right? If the Dallas Mavericks brought in DeJounte Murray to play with Doncic, what would your reaction be?
Who's going to handle the ball? Who gets the ball? There's one ball.
Right, and so now you brought him into Atlanta. Who's got the ball? So you see there's Trae Young comes out, Murray's got his platform, but together it's not that easy because they both function with the ball.
Yeah.
And that's been a struggle to this point this season. Again, we saw the best of that. I think the Raptors helped that.
Jonesy, that foul, we talked about defending the ball, and I thought Siakam did a good job on that 6th foul. Is that a foul?
I'll say this, and I'm going to go straight old man, get off my lawn.
Do it. We need it.
I become disenchanted at times with the way the game is being officiated as the arc bends toward creating more offense and scoring. There are a lot of guys feeling entitled to calls. The referees often end up calling the reaction rather than the bump.
Yeah.
I mean, Trae Young is the master at putting himself off balance, getting a little contact.
He's good at it.
Yeah, and getting the call. But Jack, my thing is, as a little guy, that call looks worse, that contact looks worse, and it's being rewarded. At the other end, I see Pascal and Scotty with the same kind of bumps, but it's not rewarded the same way. And I do have an issue with, at times, them officiating the back of the shirt as opposed to the front of the shirt.
To your point, you say that when you look at a Trae Young, sometimes if you don't make the call, it looks bad because he's a little guy and he's bouncing all over the place. But that's a lot of he created that.
He does it. He does it.
So you make the call. He sells the call, but if you don't make the call, fans are going crazy. It looks bad. So the referees are put in. I remember being in a referees meeting. Jack, you've been to plenty of those. I remember saying the players are so good today at selling it and faking it and BSing the whole thing that it puts a lot of pressure on the referees.
What you need to do is stop calling it, and you're going to look bad for a while, but the players will adjust.
Yeah.
And they're playing, some guys are playing to get a call rather than to make a play.
Well,
My thought.
the pressure on the official, too, is, though, when stuff like that happens in the lane, it's all congested. But when it's out there in the open for everyone to see, and then the offensive player is demonstrative, it's that much more difficult a call to not make.
Not call. Yeah.
You know, so that's in defense of the official, if he's in the lane and he's, sometimes when there's a lot of congestion around, you can get away with not calling it. But when it's out in the open for everybody to see, and the guy's selling it, and he does a great job selling it.
Totally.
Hey, James Harden sells it.
Bring back hand checking.
Yeah.
Nate McMillan talked about that in the pregame. Because I asked him, I said, I look at your defensive rankings, coach, and everything that was in the 20s last year, field goal percentage, all those things, 28th, 29th, it's up to 15, 16 now. And I said, is it your scheme, or is it just better effort? He said, it's a combination of both. He said, but let's face it, with the game trending toward offense, and you can't touch and you can't, the scoring is gonna go up. We used to look at how people held teams under 100, what the record was. I think now that number's 110.
Well, and here's an interesting point you bring up. And now you get to a point, and you brought up some interesting points of what Steve Clifford talked about the last few nights, with the Hornets and his view of quality of shots and things like that. You almost have to build a team now and say to yourself, I got to go all in on offense, and then find one way to maybe stop people a little bit and overwhelmingly try to outscore people.
Go back to
Mike D'Antoni and the 7 seconds or less Suns, right?
critical stops.
Critical stops. And your offense on the other side better be able to keep up with them, and it's going to go back and forth. And we're used to playing this way. And when we need a stop, it's like, okay, boys, this is the one that we need. The critical stop, Leo. That's exactly what he called it.
We all know the defense was struggled tonight. But getting off to a bad start offensively hurt just as much. You got to keep up.
And let's not play games. Let's not play games. The rules are going more and more completely to favor the offense. So we talked about it on the show the other night how Popovich said that you can't play defense. Guys don't want to play defense anymore because the rules are going completely the other way. And so it's becoming a little bit of a circus in that regard.
Well, Leo, I'm looking up at the NFL game that's going on right now. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You watch an NHL game, it's the same thing.
Offense sells.
And it does sell. And so to me,
hey, we're whining, but
I'm not whining.
No, but I'm saying we're making these points, but no one's turning off the game. People are watching.
No, but that's my point. I'm not whining at all. Like, our game is incredibly popular.
Yeah.
Knock wood, I hope we get a new CBA.
The guys are so much more talented.
And they're going to get a significant increase in the TV money. And after those two things happen, there's going to be 2 teams that get added. There's going to be 34 more playing jobs available. So life is good. my biggest thing right now is let's not kill the golden goose.
Right.
Let's not kill the golden goose. Things are good. We need our players playing.
We're not talking about you.
I was wondering.
We need our players playing when they're healthy. You know, our hard-working fans come to the game. They're there. They need to see quality basketball night in, night out. So it's a fine line. Things are really good. Let's not mess it up.
But this is where you define quality, right?
Yeah.
And
The
to me,
definition of quality is changing. Look at what's a good shot and a bad shot. That definition is
well,
changing.
Steve Clifford talked about that.
You're looking-
We settle for okay shots
Right.
not instead of great
But
shots.
We settle for bad shots.
But who are the majority of our consumers now? They're in a different generation.
Right, their perception is not the same.
Correct.
Right.
So now you're like, if you can't beat them, join them. Do you do that? Or do you just try to find that happy medium? And one of you guys said it the other night, you're right. When the games get to the playoffs, it's a different game.
Steve Clifford, I asked him, I said, Coach, so when do you slow it down? Like, why can't you slow it down? And is a pendulum going to swing back to let's work for a great shot? He says, yeah, it happens every year in the third week of April. Right? Because they start to value the ball. So, look, as for the entertainment component right now, you had, what was the final score tonight?
114-103.
Yeah, you had 217 points.
Yeah, the Raptors had 3
And the
in
pace of
first
play is good.
5 minutes. Yeah.
No, it's look. If I'm up in the stands on a Saturday night having a few pops and just out for the night and entertain, it's sure better than going to a play or the movies. You know, anything like that.
I bet you
It's entertaining.
I bet you the average fan is not also saying, oh, the defense. They're saying, well, you couldn't make shots for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the perception of it.
Yeah.
So you gotta score.
Let's get
You gotta
some,
keep up.
let's get
Gotta
some of
keep
these
scores.
You gotta score.
Let's get some of these people involved in the show. Does anyone want to come on and ask a question? Does anyone want to come on and ask
They're
a
not paying
question?
attention to you, Randy.
Come on now.
Your job's to ask the question.
We got one. We got one. We got one. Bingo.
Bring it in.
We got a bingo.
You should buy drinks for everybody. Get more questions.
Oh no, they'll all come up then.
Come on in.
Free drink with every
Free
question.
drink. It'll be like nickel beer night in baseball. Remember that? But
No, come to the middle here,
it'll be a
bro.
riot here if we start giving out
What's
drinks.
up? Good?
Giving out bats in Yankee Stadium.
What's your name first?
Bad day.
Brian. This is Brian,
Hi,
Jack.
Brian.
What's up, Brian?
Guys, I have a
Hold
sport
up the mic,
question
Brian, so we
for
can
you.
hear. There you go.
Sport question.
Okay.
Okay. Name
Hold the
me,
mic up a little higher so we can hear you.
name me 4 teams that don't end with the letter S.
Or the Jazz.
I've had too much coffee for that one.
The Jazz.
Heat.
That's one. The
Heat.
Heat. That's
The Magic.
2. The Magic. That's 3.
And the
Thunder.
Thunder.
There we go.
about
There we
that?
go. There we go. Okay.
Do I get a free drink out of this?
You do. Yeah. You want to try to take a shot on the net? We'll get you.
100%.
I mean, you mean yes? The answer to that question is yes.
The answer is
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did we start this?
We got a net here now.
I got to take a shot.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
So right up to the
Hold on,
line
wait till
there.
the camera-
This will get you an
Wait till the
appetizer if you
camera's
make it. You got 3 chances. Let's see what you got here.
3.
Okay, you did it first try. All right.
You get a free
Thanks, buddy.
drink.
What's he get?
We'll get him an appetizer. And a drink. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks for
guys
coming
are
on the
awesome.
show.
Thank you,
Appreciate it, man.
Brian.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
Leo, you want a
Thank
show?
you.
Shot? Thanks,
No,
man.
we're not.
Appreciate it, man.
Greg Popovich, a circus has come to town.
Leo's gonna make
No,
a fun.
you won't catch it. It'll land in my food. Just pass it.
I got to try this right here. I got to try this right here.
Leo.
I'm sitting back. Here you
All
go,
right, ready?
Leo.
Oh, you got a question? Thank you.
Here goes.
Here we go,
From
Leo.
out of frame.
Oh, foul. I got fouled. Did you see the foul? You saw the foul, right?
No,
guys
this isn't
went
twine and dine in your pool, okay?
Leo,
I got
you-
fouled.
This isn't
It was
twine
a
and
foul.
I got hit on the
All
arm.
right, Trey.
We
All
got,
right,
another, we
Trey.
got another question. We got another question, Randall.
We got another question. Here we
Randall.
go.
Yeah,
Got another
we got
fan
another
question.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Think you
It's
want?
coming in. It's
Coming in.
Bedlam here.
This is what's your name?
Andrea.
This is Andrew.
Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Hi, how are you doing?
How you
Fine,
doing?
thanks. Who's your pick in the East and in the West for the championship this year?
For the
And why?
NFL?
Nope, for the NBA.
For the NFL? No. I'm going with the Bills.
For the NFL, I'm thinking the Bills, but for the
All
What
right.
was the question?
The question is in the
East and
NBA.
West NBA.
Listen, it's I
It's
don't
so
think
hard
you
right
can't
now.
pick.
I can't
You
call
can't
it right
pick
now.
because
if you had to.
I'll give you
If
one.
You had to, yes.
Golden State in the West. That's it.
Golden State?
That's all I
Wow.
got for you.
Okay,
Okay.
Leo.
Leo, they're like 500 right now.
See?
That doesn't
Hey,
bother
Randy,
you?
I don't care. All right?
I don't know.
right.
I honestly, I could not. It's so early right now. I could not pick it. I mean, theoretically, you got so many. There's like 4 or 5
Okay,
teams in the
maybe
East that
the-
could win it.
Who do you
The
think?
West is like.
So you don't even
Oh,
know.
come on. You got to have. You got to
there's a
have.
lot of
You can't
balance.
ask the question and not have the
A
answer.
lot of balance in the league.
I think the Nets.
The Nets.
The Nets.
That's a good question. That's a good
I think
answer.
the Nets are going to win it this
Do you want to try shoot on the net?
Sure.
For an appetizer? Wait, right here. Put the mic
Thank
down.
I got fouled when I shot, so
Yeah,
be careful
so just-
nobody hits you.
But your
right,
your shot's
Trey.
a lot
Yeah,
easier because it's
Trey.
right up at the line. Let's see what you got. The green line.
Trey
Yeah.
Rautins.
You can almost
I got
dunk it
hammered.
from there.
Trey.
I got hammered.
The dribble first. I like that. Hey! Okay, we got to move the line back.
I think
This
so.
is like a lot of.
What are we giving away? No one's doing this for nothing, Randy. You gotta have a
Can I
big
see that
budget.
ball again?
No.
Yeah, Leo
Don't
needs
throw
it
it to
again.
him. He'll drop it in the food.
Come on.
No,
I feel I got my
He's
rhythm
just
now.
worried about the food.
I'm holding
I got my
on to
rhythm now.
coffee here.
Ready?
Right,
I got my
Leo.
rhythm now. Here we go.
Watch out.
Here we go. Ready?
Drum roll, please.
Oh, rim. You want one more?
Yeah, give me one
One
more.
more. One more.
This is it.
Leo is Mr.
I got
Twine and Wine.
One more. One more. One more. Yeah. Let's give it.
All right. I can't.
Everybody else gets 3 chances. You get 3 chances.
All right, here we go. Ready?
0 for 2.
No, he's making this.
Make this one.
You're making
You
this.
got this, Leo.
Played in the NBA. Hey, that's right.
That's the Leo Rautins that I know.
We love
That's
Twine
the twine and wine right
No,
there.
that's the
Wine
Leo
and
Rautins that I
wine.
know. Who says, shoot because you're hot
Hold on, man.
or
We're
shoot
one
to
after.
get hot?
There you go. And I finally got free and nobody hit. Randy, you the first 2 times you hit me
I
on the elbow.
got your elbow. Yeah, but the third time,
Wine
I'm
and
back,
wine
I'm
in
back
the
right
house.
up. All right, let's stop in there. Great stuff as always.
That's it?
Yeah. Do you want-
What are you
do
giving these people?
Yeah, what do I get, by the way?
No. Should we show the wings here?
Yeah, you get
had
free
like
food.
12 wings. And some coffee. Do you want to take a shot, Jack?
No, that's okay.
Okay, not today.
I'm fine.
Jonesy?
Those
You're
who
okay?
can't do, those who can't teach.
Or coach.
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 There you go. That's why I did what I did.
All right.
Not very well either.
Next game for the Raptors is Monday afternoon in
Leo,
New York
enjoy
against
that
the
wing.
Knicks.
You earned
Hey,
it.
Tip-off goes at 3
Twine
p.m.
and Wine.
Eastern.
Check it out. Twine and Wine.
After
Check
the
it out.
game, come by Real Sports.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Monday, Martin Luther King Day in the States,
Martin Luther King
holiday.
Jr. Day, yep.
Canadian government, you need to make that a holiday up here too. He was a
agree.
great
I agree.
humanitarian, and it needs to be recognized all over
I
North
like
America.
that. I like
Yeah.
that. Well said.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Well said. Cheers to that.
Make it happen, for sure.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that,
I'll
Jonesy.
get in that. I'll get in.